Guys, welcome to another chapter of the Amber Room. This is chapter 19. 6:34 p.m. Paul's heart pounded as Rachel looked out from her father's final note, tears falling down from her sad eyes. He could feel the pain. Hard to tell where his stopped and hers started. He wrote so elegantly, she said. He agreed. He learned English well. Read incessantly. He knew more about participial phrases and dangling modifiers than I ever did. I think his broken speech was just a way to hold on to his heritage. Poor daddy. Her auburn hair was tied in a ponytail. She wore no makeup, was dressed only in a white terry cloth robe over a flannel nightgown. The house was finally cleared of all the mourners. The children were in their rooms, still upset from the emotional day. Lucy was scampering through the dining room. "Have you read all these letters?" Rachel asked. He nodded. "After I left the bank, I went back to your father's house and got the rest of his stuff." They were sitting in Rachel's dining room, their old dining room. The two folders with news articles on the Amber Room, a German map, the USA Today, the will, all the letters, and the note to Rachel were found out on the table. He had told her what he had found and where. He also told her about the USA Today article that her father had specifically asked for. Daddy was watching something on CNN about that when I left the kids with him. I remember the name. Her body sagged in the chair. What was that file doing in the freezer? That's not like him. What's going on, Paul? I don't know, but Karol was obviously interested in the Amber Room. He pointed to Boria's last note. What did he mean about Phaethon and the tears of the Heliades? Another story Mama used to tell me when I was little. Another story Mama used to tell us when I was little. Phaethon, the mortal son of Helios, god of the sun. I was fascinated by it. Daddy loved mythology. He said thinking about fantasy was one of the things that got him through Mauthausen. She shuffled through the clippings and photocopies, glancing closely at a few. He thought he was responsible for what happened to your parents and the rest of the people on that plane. I don't understand. Neither did he, and he had thought of little else during the past 2 hours. Weren't your parents in Italy on museum business? Asked Rachel. The whole board went. The trip was to secure loans of works from Italian museums. Daddy seemed to think that there was a connection. He also recalled something else Boria wrote. I should never have asked Jansi to inquire while in Italy. What did he mean, again? Don't you want to know what happened? Rachel suddenly asked, her voice rising. He had not liked that tone years ago and didn't appreciate it now. I never said that. It's just that 6 years have passed, and it will be nearly impossible to find out. My God, Rachel, they never even found the bodies. Paul, your parents may have been murdered, and you don't want to do anything about it? Impetuous and stubborn, what had Karol said? Got both traits from her mother. Right. I didn't say that either. There's just nothing practical that can be done. We can find Daniel Chapev. What do you mean? Chapev, he may still be alive. She looked down at the envelopes, the return addresses. Kelheim couldn't be that hard to find. It's in southern Germany, Bavaria. I found it on the map. You looked? Not hard to spot. Karol circled it. She unfolded the map and saw for herself. Daddy said they knew nothing other than them about the Amber Room, but never went to check. Maybe Chapev could tell us what that was. He couldn't believe what she was saying. Did you read what your father said? He told you to leave the Amber Room alone. Finding Chapev is one thing he didn't want you doing. Chapev might know more about what happened to your parents. I am a lawyer, Rachel, not an international investigator. Okay, let's take this to the police. They could look into it. That's far more practical than your first suggestion, but the trail's still years old. Her face hardened. I hope to tell Marla and Brent. Don't inherit your complacency. I had liked to think they had wanted to know what happened if a plane blew out of the sky with you and me on it. She knew exactly how to push his buttons. It was one of the things he most resented about her. Did you read those articles? He asked. People have died searching for the Amber Room. Maybe my parents, maybe not. One thing's for certain, your fathers didn't want you involved, and you are way out of your league. What you want to know about that couldn't feel inside. Along with your nerve. He stared hard into her angry eyes, bit his tongue, and tried to be understanding. She had buried her father this morning. Still, one word kept reverberating through his brain. Bitch. He took a deep breath before quietly saying, Your second suggestion is the most practical. Why don't we let the police handle this? He paused. I realize how upset you are. Both Rachel, Karol's death was an accident. Trouble is, Paul, if it wasn't, then add my father to the list of casualties along with your parents. She caught him one of her looks, the kind he had seen too many times before. Still want to be practical?